Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Don't
Blades
forget,
twist, time has come. Assemble a team and trying to get some. Blast from a huge gun, feel like a bad man. Never give up, son. Your ways a tough round. Fire and ice. Write your story. Now the game stop you on the way to glory. So lead your team on a grill 15. Straight to the win like a raid machine.
Will help the channel out. The links are in the description. So in today's video, we are going to have a look at the 50 TP. I mean, the tech tree version, you've got the 50 TP prototype, which is obviously the tier 9 premium, the clan reward, and then you have this tank in the tech tree. What is it like? I mean, I haven't really played it too much. There's some good things, and of course there is some bad things. Now, the armor profile is pretty solid. It is quite a big tank. It is quite a tall tank. However, with the 50 TP prototype, it is a lot lower to the ground. The turret is extremely strong. You can see the mantlet there, very, very strong. And if you can hide them hatches, then you will be able to get some bounces. So the armor profile, I mean, frontally, the upper plate's okay. The lower plate is quite weak, so you do have to try to hide that lower plate as well. So what are the stats like? I mean, is it worth the grind? Of course, it is worth the grind, because at the end of the day, when you complete this tank, then you do get the 60 TP, which is much, much better. So yeah, that's the 50 TP prototype, and that is the 50 TP. So they do look quite different. The 50 TP prototype is very low. Now, with both tanks, they do have the tungsten shells, which gives an extra 15% to your average damage. So do only use that. Always run it. I'll definitely run it. Because you can get a higher alpha shot, so definitely do run it with the tungsten shells. Don't want that. So yeah, this is my provisions, what I use, and obviously my equipment, you can see it there slightly. I don't think I do actually click on the equipment. Oh, I do click the equipment. So this is what I run it with. I don't run it with calibrated shells. I mean, an extra 15 APCR pen, I don't think it is worth it. Might as well go for the DPM. 159 extra DPM if you are running it with the rammer. So enhanced armor, I would probably run it with as well, just to give that turret a little bit more stronger. So as you can see on paper, 250 millimeters of turret armor. Again, you can't always go by what it says in the game, because it's not effective armor. DPM 2261, pretty much bulk standard for the tier and the kind of tank. Reload is 12.2 seconds. Penetration 250 on your AP, 303 on your APCR, 68 on your HG. You do have a 460 alpha gun on your AP, 390 on your APCR, and a nice 600 on your HE. So if you are running tungsten shells, then you might be able to get that HE up a little bit more. Aim time 4.5, 0.344, gun dispersion, and a nice 8 degrees of gun depression to go with it. So overall, I mean, it's not a bad tank. I wouldn't say it's an absolutely brilliant tank, but it's not a bad tank, and definitely worth the grind. If you are obviously going up against tier 8s like we are here, then yeah, you can definitely dominate. Now, I remember I did a video on the first video on the 50 TP prototype just before it got entered into the game, and I pretty much said to people, like, even though it was quite easy to get the tank, like very easy to get the tier 9 premium tank, or collectible, should I say, I told people not to worry if you don't get it, because the Polish line with this 50 TP will be out soon, and it's going to be very similar to that 50 TP prototype. Now, I was wrong, and I've pretty much done another video stating that the 50 TP prototype is one of the best tier 9s in the game, and I definitely wouldn't say this is one of the best tier 9s. It's not bad. It can hold its own. It can get the bounces, as you can see there, and it can work. Again, with the tungsten shells, you really need to be careful when you are running it with tungsten shells. So don't just click the button. If you see an enemy tank, don't just click the button and then hope for the best. Like, always make sure that you have that target ready. If you can definitely shoot them twice, then yeah, it's definitely worth it. But there's not going to be all that time, like it's 12 seconds between each reload, so there's not going to be that often you're going to be able to use that tungsten shell for the 2 shots. Obviously, if there's a tank right in front of you, then yeah, you might be able to. So I'm still yet to use the tungsten shell. I haven't used it yet. I mean, I'm just saving it. I could have used it already. And sometimes I get into that habit, you know, where I just see the enemy tank and I just use the tungsten shell. But this game, I didn't want to just waste it, and at the point now, I have wasted it really, because there's only 3 tanks left. So I am now going to use it, because I'm going to use the HE. There is the Scorpion in front of me, and because I waited, look at that, 719 damage. Very, very nice. So I'm glad I waited. I only managed to get the 1 shot from the tungsten shell, so I'm not really going to be able to, I mean, 60 damage there, it's nothing. So yeah, always try at least, definitely have 1 shot available. Don't just think you're going to come up against the enemy, press it, so when they become spotted, then you have it ready. Like, always make sure that you're reloaded and you're pretty much aimed in for when you, because you want to maximize that tungsten shells. And that's not just with this tank, obviously that's with any tank that has tungsten shells. There's quite a few tanks now that does have the tungsten shells. So always try to maximize the output on that tungsten shell. So second game, and now this, I mean, that first game is pretty easy. I mean, it was only 2.9k damage. It wasn't much, but it was a very, very easy 2.9k damage to do. And a lot of that is thanks to the tungsten shells. You know, when you're doing that higher alpha, if I wouldn't have done 700, I would have done sort of maybe 400 or so. So yeah, that would have sort of been 2.5k, 2.6k, just, you know, just an average game, or lower than average game actually. So here we are going to fight against the AMX 50B. I mean, a 474 alpha there, and that is without the tungsten shells. So that's not bad for a standard alpha shot. So I don't want to, now I don't mess up there, and you can see that I'm using the tungsten shell, and I've got 560 alpha. Now, if I was to stay on the hill, then I would definitely be able to get another shot on the tungsten shell. But considering they have 3 tank destroyers that are not spotted, I don't want to just expose myself to try to get that shot whilst the tungsten shell is in use. Just be smart, you know. I'm not going to go up the hill and get absolutely torn apart by 3 tank destroyers just to get a higher alpha shot. You know, you've got to be smart. I managed to use the tungsten shell. I've got a 560 roll. I'm happy with that. At least I didn't waste it completely. So we bounced 380 damage, so you can see, like, I mean, we've only bounced 1 shot at the moment, and here is the mouse. Now, stupidly, I should have actually switched to the AP there, because he come out sideways. Excuse me. But I didn't, you know, I didn't want to change. I just wanted to take the shot while I had it. So now, I mean, it's kind of a sticky situation. Now, I got the AMX 50 behind. Luckily, he's not actually looking at me. He should be looking at me, because you got the mouse looking at me. He should actually be looking at me. But instead, he decides to go for the E75. Unfortunately, just missed my shot there. Took the shot straight after he died. So that was a bit of a wasted shot. And now I need to just go head to head against this mouse. Now, he has me on hit points, and of course he has me on armor as well, and I just yeah, completely messed that shot up. So I now want to try to get in a position where he can't actually, it's not an easy pen for him. And as you can see, I have that, and he's shooting my mantlet, and I do manage to get the bounce. So just 4 tanks left alive. 3 of them are tank destroyers that I'm yet to know where they are. So I just found one of them. Again, a stupid shot there. I don't even know why I took the shot, and now, because I'm only on 381 hit points, I really need to be careful of those tank destroyers. So the mouse here is a 1 shot. Again, I don't manage to get the kill shot, and just 2 tank destroyers left alive, which now I know where they both are. So we're going to take the shot against this guy, and again, I mean, 2.6k damage, it's not the best. Again, it's not the best, but you're never going to really, it's going to be very often, very rare, sorry, to have like a mega game in this tank. Like, it's a good tank, it's nothing special, but it's not one of those tanks that is extremely good for carrying. You know, if you're alone against 3 tanks, you will struggle. The DPM is not the greatest. I mean, it's kind of average, but it can do its job. And again, just the tungsten shells make it a decent tank. in my opinion. Without the tungsten shells, I just think it would be an average kind of tank. But with the tungsten shells, it allows this tank to like I'll show you, 700 damage with the HE, and you could do 500 damage plus with your normal AP round. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth the grind, because at the end of it, you do get the 60 TP, which is a very, very good tank. So let me know your thoughts on the 50 TP however you say it. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye bye.
With